Seniors, did you know that garden tool design is the single biggest factor in whether older gardeners experience pain or not? Not what you're doing, how you're holding what you're doing it with. Which means most of the pain that people chalk up to getting older is actually caused by tools that were made for younger, stronger hands. And that's completely fixable. Hi, I'm Carol from Almost 2 Acres. Let's talk tools.
Today, I'm going through the best gardening tools for seniors in priority order, meaning if you're building a toolkit from scratch, or if you're replacing worn-out tools and want to make smarter choices this time, like me, this is the sequence I'll follow. I'm also going to spend some time on what to skip, because there's a lot of stuff marketed towards seniors that sounds helpful and isn't. Let me give you a framework first. Every good ergonomic tool should solve at least one of 4 problems. Number 1, reach. Does the tool let you access what you need without bending, crouching, or overextending? Number 2, grip. Does the handle allow a natural neutral wrist position, not twisted, not strained? And does it work even with reduced grip strength? Number 3, weight. Is the tool light enough that holding and using it repeatedly across a gardening session doesn't cause cumulative fatigue? Number 4, stability. Does the tool give you a stable base, something you can lean into or push against without losing footing? That's the test. Reach, grip, weight, stability. When I recommend a tool in this video, I'm going to tell you which of those 4 problems it solves, because that's more useful than "it's ergonomic" or "it's easier to use." Those phrases don't tell you anything. Knowing it solves your grip problem or your reach problem tells you everything. Let's go through the categories in priority order. Priority 1, pruners. Pruners are one of the first places I'll spend money since I'm upgrading my toolkit for senior gardening. Here's why. Pruning and cutting is something most gardeners do in almost every session. Deadheading, harvesting, shaping, cleanup. It's repetitive. It's hand intensive. And a standard bypass pruner requires a squeezing motion that, if your grip strength has changed at all, you'll feel by the end of an hour. The fix is spring-loaded pruners. The spring opens the blade after every cut so your hand doesn't have to. That sounds minor until you're deadheading 100 coneflowers in an afternoon. They're the Fiskars Soft Touch Pruning Snips. I'll have them linked below. Lightweight, spring-loaded, about the size of scissors. If you're doing any regular pruning or deadheading like I do, these are the first upgrade I'll make, and you may want to also. What problem do they solve? Grip, primarily, but also weight. They're about half the weight of standard bypass pruners. Now, what about loppers and pruning saws for bigger cuts? For overhead work or branches larger than a ½ inch, you want bypass loppers with long handles, 25 to 30 inches, so you're cutting from a comfortable standing position, not reaching and twisting. Look for cushioned handles and a gear-assisting cutting mechanism. Ratchet loppers exist specifically to reduce the force needed per cut. I'm not going to do a full loppers review today. That's worth its own video. But the principle is the same. Reach and grip. Those are your targets. I got these ratcheting loppers at Fleet Farm a few years ago. My other loppers don't get pulled out very often anymore. Priority number 2, the trowel. The trowel is the tool that probably gets used more than anything else in a planting season. Transplanting, direct seeding, dividing. It's constant. Standard trowel handles are straight. Your wrist, when you use one in normal soil, ends up twisted slightly inward, what occupational therapists call ulnar deviation. Do that 1,000 times across a planting day and your wrist notices. The Garden Guru hand trowel is in the description. It's lightweight at less than 3/4 of a pound. That's the weight problem solved. And the ergonomic handle addresses the grip problem. It's the one I'm ordering today. I used to be called the Garden Guru, so it kind of fits anyway. Priority 3, the hoe. Hoes are interesting because the standard image of a garden hoe, the flat-headed push hoe, is actually one of the less efficient options for weed control. And for senior gardeners specifically, the pushing motion on a flat-headed hoe requires leaning into the tool in a way that strains your lower back over time. There are two better options. Option 1, the stirrup hoe, also called a hula hoe or scuffle hoe. The blade is a loop shape like a stirrup, and it cuts weeds on both the push stroke and the pull stroke. That's twice the weeding work per motion. You're standing fully upright, you're not bending, and because you're cutting in both directions, you cover ground faster. What problem does it solve? Reach. You're standing upright the whole time. And because of a two-direction cutting, it also solves an efficiency problem that translates to less time in a strained position. Option 2, the Cobra Head Weeder. This is a different tool for a different situation. Where the stirrup hoe is for young weeds you're slicing at the soil surface, the Cobra Head is for established weeds with real root systems. It's a single narrow curved tine that you hook under the weed and pull. Long handle, minimum crouching, very precise. It has a cult following for good reason. It doesn't do everything, but what it does, digging out established weeds without disturbing surrounding plants, it does better than almost anything else. What problem does it solve? Reach. The long handle keeps you upright. Both are linked in the description. If I had to pick one, and your weed pressure is mostly young annual weeds, I'd start with the stirrup hoe. If you're fighting established tap-rooted weeds like dandelions and thistles, the Cobra Head is the right call. Priority 4, hose and watering tools. I want to spend a few minutes on watering tools because this category has the widest range of quality in the senior gardening market. Here's the core problem. Water is heavy, and most watering setups require you to move that weight from the spigot to the plants either by carrying a can or dragging a hose. The goal is to get the water to the plants without lifting any of it. For the hose itself, if you're shopping for a lightweight hose, look for polymer construction rather than rubber or vinyl. Flexzilla makes a widely recommended lightweight option. In Zone 4, we also need to make sure whatever you buy can handle temperature extremes without cracking. Not all expandable hoses are rated for cold. Check the label. What I'd actually recommend for most senior gardeners is a two-part system. 1, a lightweight hose with a pistol shut-off grip at the end, so you're not squeezing a lever to keep the water running. 2, a soaker hose or drip line for your most used beds. You connect it once, you turn the tap, you walk away. No carrying, no dragging, no standing there holding a hose. I'm going into full detail on watering systems in video 4, including soaker hose setup, drip irrigation, and the mulch trick that cuts your watering frequency nearly in half. For now, the hose shopping rule is simple. Pick it up. If it's heavy empty, it'll be brutal full. Weight and grip, those are your tests. Priority 5, kneeler and cart. I saved these two for last since we use them to move through the garden safely and sustainably. If bending and kneeling is on your pain point list, and it was on almost everyone's list in the last video, a garden kneeler with handles is the most direct fix. 2 sturdy side handles let you push yourself back to standing without putting load on your knees or lower back. Most good kneeler seats fold to reverse into a low garden bench, which means you can sit while doing close-in work rather than kneeling. Look for one rated for your weight with a generous safety margin and a foam pad thick enough to actually cushion on hard ground. What problem does it solve? Stability. The handles give you something to push against when standing. It's the most direct fix for the getting back up problem from video 1. I have the one I've chosen, the Emerla, linked in the description. The garden cart, the last piece. Heavy things, bags of compost, harvested squash, mulch, tools, should be rolled, not carried. A garden cart with a wide wheelbase and a dump bed is not a luxury for senior gardeners. It's basic back protection. What to look for? 4 wheels rather than 2, more stable on uneven ground. A low seat for easy loading, and handles at a comfortable push height. The Gorilla Carts line is what I'd point people towards. Well reviewed, rated for real loads, available in a few sizes. What problem does it solve? Weight, all of it. And as a bonus, it doubles as a stability support while you're walking between beds. And now here's a few things marketed towards senior or arthritic gardeners that aren't worth your money. Thin foam kneeling pads without handles. They solve the surface problem, but not the getting back up problem, which is the actual problem. Lightweight garden scissors branded as pruning shears. They're usually not rated for woody stems and dull fast. The Fiskars we covered are actually lightweight and actually sharp. Tools with pistol grips on both ends. They feel stable in the store, but restrict your movement in actual use. One ergonomic grip end is usually enough. And anything with arthritis friendly or senior approved in the name that doesn't list the actual handle material, weight, and return policy. Those are marketing terms, not engineering specs. The full tool list from today is in the description box with affiliate links. That's the Fiskars 6-inch pruning scissors, the Garden Guru hand trowel, the Amerla kneeler seat, the Cobra head weeder, and the Haas stirrup hoe.
In the next video in the Gardening for Seniors series, I'm going into raised beds so we can save our backs. I'm going to talk about height, width, what materials to use for my Zone 4, and the correct soil to put inside them. If you're watching the series from the beginning, that video will build on the first two that I've already done. Until next time, let's start thinking about working smarter in our senior years, and let's get growing. I'll be growing in Zone 4.